Live from Spartan Field in Spark Hill, New York, we welcome you back into the 2025 East Coast Conference Softball Championship. In our Game 7 matchup, the St. Thomas Aquinas College Spartans take on the DYU University Saints. The winner will be crowned the 2025 East Coast Conference Softball Champion. My name is Joe Foreman, soon to be joined by Mike Moore, and very quickly we'll get you the starting lineup for the visiting St. Thomas Aquinas College Spartans. Their lineup, top to bottom: Elise Marcano, Adriana Coira, Eliana Raposo, Sophia Morella, Trinidad Santiago, Jessica Furyk, Olivia Leon, Maristela Coira, Jordan Gauthier, and in the circle will be Sarah Clancy. We'll get you the Saints lineup when they come to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. However, we will tell you is that it will be Sarah Parjic in the circle for DYU. She has been their ace all season long and has gotten a lot of work in this conference championship. She was not used in Game 1 as it was a tremendous outing for Summer Clark.
And in the circle for the DYU University Saints is the right-hander Sarah Parzic, as we are just about ready to go here in this winner-take-all game number 7. And for the Spartans, Elise Marcano will lead off. She'll be followed by Adriana Coira and Eliana Raposo. Marcano, a left-handed batter wearing number 2 and playing second base. In the leadoff spot in game number 1, she was 0 for 4, and she grounded into that game-ending double play in the 7th inning that forced this winner-take-all Game 7. Parzic gets the sign from her battery mate Annie Jorgensen, and the first pitch in Game 7 misses low for ball 1, and we're underway. Marcano will be followed by Adriana Coira and Eliana Raposo. As we mentioned here, St. Thomas Aquinas, the visitors on the scoreboard, playing on their home field, where they have a 16-4 record in 20 games played. 1-0 pitch misses downstairs, and Parzic falls behind 2 balls and no strikes. Parzic, a second-team All-Conference member, and was named East Coast Conference Pitcher of the Week back in week number 5. Here comes the 2-0, and it's low and outside, 3-0. Parzic is making her 26th appearance and 20th game start. She's 12-7 with a 3.23 earned run average, 9 complete games and 3 shutouts for the senior from Gatesville, New York, out of Williamsville North High School. 3-0 pitch misses low, and a good start for the Spartans as Marcano is on board with a 4-pitch walk.
And we spoke about it yesterday, Mike. Oftentimes it is score early against Parjic or don't score at all, because we've seen in the first inning of some games recently, it has been possible to score against her. As she's gone on in games, she has typically gotten stronger, always a tough pitcher. And we'll also see if the Saints perhaps late in this game might be willing to use Summer Clark again.
So here's Adriana Coira, left-handed batter wearing number 6. She's the shortstop. And she takes down low, ball 1. So the first 5 pitches out of the zone from Sarah Parzic. Coira also in the number 2 spot in the batting order in Game 6, was 1 for 2 with an infield single and a walk. And wasting no time, making a visit in the circle, is Saints' first-year head coach, Shelly Horner, having a word with both Sarah Parzic and Annie Jorgensen.
Spartans were held to just the 1 run in the early game. However, DYU did not score for the final 6 innings in that game. Saints have been held without a run in 13 of the 14 innings they have played against the Spartans in this conference championship tournament.
The 2-0 pitch, runner goes, and it's taken down low, ball 3, and the throw to second is not in time. So Marcano has her 27th stolen base in as many attempts. She remains perfect on the season. And the Spartans have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. And they count 3 balls and no strikes to Adriana Coira. And now...
Did she leave early?
after meeting with the umpires. The official scoring, take the stolen base away, is that Marcano left early. And great shot there. She did indeed leave too soon. So the leadoff walk is erased. And the 2-0 pitch is down low, 3-0.
3 unassisted, runner left early. To the nearest, to the base, she illegally left.
So as Mike just confirmed off headset with Brad, 3 unassisted on the putout. It goes to the defensive player at the position where the runner left. So
that's a big first out now.
That's a huge swing in this inning.
Count 2-1 to Coira with Eliana Raposo waiting on deck. Bunted foul, and that levels the count at 2-2. Sarah Parjic has tossed 108 1/3 innings entering this Game 7. 62 runs allowed, 50 earned on 119 hits. 52 walks and 98 strikeouts, a .271 batting average against. 2-2, pulled foul.
And something that we don't talk about enough when it comes to stolen bases in softball is the timing that is required to really pick up a pitcher's motion and be able to make that break at the right time to avoid that call for leaving early. And a lot of accomplished base stealers just have a knack for picking that up. A rare miscue there on the base paths for the Spartans.
Popped up towards the middle of the diamond. Backpedaling is the shortstop, Sophia Arno, and she makes the catch to retire her opposite number in Adriana Coira. So 2 out and nobody on for Eliana Raposo, right-handed batter wearing number 42 and playing center field. The reigning East Coast Conference Player of the Year held in check in Game 6, 0 for 3 with a pair of groundouts and a pop-out. So despite issuing the 4-pitch leadoff walk to Marcano, she now is 1 out away from facing the minimum here in the top of the first. The runner in Marcano leaving too early, 3 unassisted on the putout, and now the pop out of Coira has the bases empty. 2-0 is the count. Parzic has surrendered 26 extra base hits, 17 doubles, 4 triples, and 5 home runs. But that's a very impressive batting average against at .271. As a staff, the Saints have a team batting average against of just .284. And they're facing this Spartans offense who came in to Game 6 today, hitting .312 as a team overall.
Something's got to give, Mike. And if you're the Saints, I mentioned it before, you have to feel great about the way you swung the bats last game. Obviously, you didn't score any runs beyond the first inning, but there were still plenty of good swings. They did threaten. You capitalize on those opportunities, get a well-pitched game, that might be enough.
Fly ball to deep right field. Going back is Laura Beck. She has room, and she makes the catch to retire the side. So a leadoff walk, but then the runner leaving too soon. A pop-up and a flyout allows Sarah Parzic to face the minimum in the top of the first. For St. Thomas Aquinas, no runs on 1 hit and nobody left on base. After 1/2 inning of play here in Game 7, the score is the top-seeded St. Thomas Aquinas College Spartans nothing, and the 4th-seeded DYU University Saints coming up to bat.
What's your big dream? At St. Thomas Aquinas College, we dare you to imagine all you can achieve in your career and beyond. In a close-knit community dedicated to your success, your education is personalized for what matters most to you. You'll learn by doing, discover your gifts, and ignite your passion.
It is a second life for the starter in the circle for St. Thomas Aquinas. And the co-pitcher of the year, Sarah Clancy. Clancy faced just 5 batters in game number 6 and did not retire any of them, giving up 5 runs in the process.
Very quickly ahead of her first pitch, we get a look at the DUville lineup. Shibish, Adamo, Jorgensen, Clark, Beck, Moreno, Howes, Sawyer, Arno, and of course Parjic in the circle.
First pitch to Emily Shibish, misses high for ball 1. Shibish, a left-handed batter wearing number 2 and playing center field. 1-0. And that misses 2 balls and no strikes. Shibish in the leadoff spot in game 1 was 1 for 4 with a stolen base and a run scored. And she was also caught stealing for just the second time in 2025.
Helped by an error, she reached base to lead off 2 separate innings.
Now 26 for 28 on the base paths. She'll be followed by Gianna Adamo and Annie Jorgensen here in the first. 2-2 pitches popped up behind home and out of play.
It was in the first inning that the Saints did their damage in the first game today against the Spartans. You'd have to think that is on the mind of Clancy.
Lined into center field, and that's going to be a base hit. So once again, Emily Shibish setting the table for the Saints. And she has a leadoff single off Sarah Clancy to begin the Game 7 offense for the Saints.
And that looks a lot like how the previous game started. A bit more air on the Game 6 pop-up. That ball was ultimately dropped.
Ball 1 outside. Left-handed batter wearing number 4 and playing second base. Adamo also in the number 2 spot in the order in Game 6 was 2 for 4 with a run scored. There's a strike, and that evens the count at 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. And it's fouled out of play.
You don't want to put too much into an at-bat this early in the game, but ahead 1-2, dangerous bats looming. This is the out Clancy really wants to get, with Shibish still at first base.
1-2. And it's chopped to first. Fielded by Ferrick, and she takes it to the bag herself to retire Adamo, with Shibish advancing to second.
So they do move the speedy Shibish into scoring position, and that's big. You have Jorgensen and Clark looming. A good opportunity to get Shibish in and take the early lead once again.
Annie Jorgensen, a right-handed batter wearing number 23. She's the catcher in Game 6, also in the number 3 spot. She was 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. The Saints went 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position in Game 6. And are now 14 for 30. With runners in scoring position in their last 3 games played. Grounded too short, to her right, Cora has it, throws to first in time, and now advancing to third on the throw is Shibish. That's great base running by the Saints center fielder. The put out goes 6-3. Shibish to third, but now there's 2 away here in the first for Summer Clark.
And now, Mike, if you're STAC, is that worth a throw to third?
I don't think so, no. I agree.
Only bad things can happen making that throw. You're not going to get Shibish there.
Summer Clark, left-handed batter wearing number 32. takes ball one low. Clark in the cleanup spot in game one is 2 for 3 with an RBI double and a run scored, and also had the game of her life in the circle.
It's been an incredible week for her.
This game 7. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. That's a good off-speed pitch from Clancy to get ahead, a ball and 2 strikes.
That is a nasty screwball in the inner half.
1-2 is pulled foul.
Bit of a defensive cut there on another off-speed pitch. Clark having a tough time waiting back on that breaking ball. And do you dare triple up on it, or do you try and go upstairs with the high hard stuff?
I think she should go back to the off-speed pitch, but we'll see. She definitely knows what she's doing in that circle. 1-2. He's fouled back.
Came inside.
By Clark. Again, the 1-2. Lifted in the air down the left field line, out of play.
And the more pitches you see, if you're Clark, the more the at-bat starts to turn a bit and things move a bit more in your advantage.
Sixth pitch of the at-bat misses inside, and that levels the count at 2-2.
Clancy's still looking for that pitch to put Clark away. We've seen a couple of defensive cuts, and this at-bat continues 2-2.
And the 2-2 pitch misses. Good battle here between Clancy and Clark. As Clark runs the count full. Payoff pitch. Lifted in the air to right center field. In a few steps comes Eliana Raposo, and she'll make the catch to end the inning. 1 hit and 1 left for the Saints in the first. We move to the second in game 7 with no score. Do you have the play-by-play there? The Spartans are playing game number 49. They're 30-18 overall. The top seed in the East Coast Conference finished 16-4 in regular season play and are 18-4 here at Spartan Field this season. A rare home loss in game 6 of this championship tournament. Fly ball to right center field. On the run is Laura Beck, and she makes the sliding catch, side retired. Beck got a good jump on the softball. She had a lot of real estate to cover, but she was able to track it down to end the inning. For the Spartans at the top of the second, no runs on 2 hits and 1 runner left on base. After an inning and a half, we still have no score in this winner-take-all Game 7.
Great seats at a great price? Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at Ticketsmarter.com.
We'll take a look at our game time temperature here this afternoon from Spartan Field in Spark Hill, New York, under mostly cloudy skies. It's currently 83 degrees. The humidity is at 50%, and the wind is out of the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour. Laura Beck will lead off the home half of the second for the Saints. She'll be followed by Gabby Moreno and Shannon House. Beck, a left-handed batter wearing number 15 and getting the start in right field. Made a terrific sliding catch. A ball hit by Olivia Leone to end the top half of the second. Beck in game number 6 had a pair of extra base hits, both doubles, 2 RBIs and a run scored. She had a 2-run double in that 5-run first inning for the Saints. It came against the pitcher in the circle, Sarah Clancy. That was the last batter Clancy faced in that very tough top of the first earlier this morning. Changeup misses high as Clancy falls behind 3-1.
Early in this game, we've seen Clancy being forced to work from behind in the count. That makes things much more difficult on you against a red-hot lineup.
Popped up to the left side and out of play. Defensively for the Spartans, Jessica Fierk is at first, Elise Marcano is at second, Adriana Coira is the shortstop, and Trinidad Santiago is over at third. Left to right in the outfield, it's Maristella Coira, Eliana Raposo, and Jordan Gauthier, with Olivia Leone catching Sarah Clancy. Payoff pitch is a fly ball down the left field line. On the run is Coira. She will not get there, but it is a foul ball. And we'll do it again at 3-2. Great hustle there by Maristella Coira on the diving attempt.
And you'll just catch that in the corner of the screen here. She came soaring in from the left side of the frame.
A good battle going on here to begin the bottom of the second frame between Sarah Clancy and Laura Beck. The 3-2 pitch misses inside. And for the second consecutive inning, the Saints have a leadoff base runner. On the first walk issued by Sarah Clancy. In steps Gabby Moreno, right-handed hitter wearing number 33.
The first baseman, number 33.
She's getting the start at first base. Moreno was 1 for 3 in game 6. She shows bunt, and the first pitch is in the turf for ball 1. Thinking about second was Beck, but she retreats back to first. Joe, both head coaches putting in the same exact starting lineup 1 through 9 here in game 7 as they did in game 6. Bunted in front of the plate, and the out is recorded first, and the throw to third is not in time. And once again, great base running on the part of the Spartans on a sacrifice bunt. The runner at first in Beck goes first to third. A tremendous heads-up play on the part of Laura Beck. Puts a runner at third with 1 down.
And here's another look at it. You see the bunt toward the circle, played by the third baseman, Santiago. And as soon as she got rid of that softball, no hesitation by Beck to go for third. Got in there relatively easily. The throw, fortunately for the Spartans, was knocked down and kept on the infield. Otherwise, a run could have scored. And once again, Clancy finds herself in some trouble here.
Here's Shannon House, left-handed batter wearing number 26 and playing left field. Infield in, the 1-0 is a fly ball to center field. Going back is Raposo. She makes the catch. Tagging from third is Beck. She will slide in safely. It's a sacrifice fly for Shannon House. And the DYU University Saints strike first in this game number 7 as they take a 1-0 lead.
And Mike, the Saints are continuing to see Clancy pretty well. There are some defensive cuts on that off-speed stuff, but the left-handers who see a lot of those breaking balls have still been able to put the ball in play and hit line drives into the outfield. In that situation with runners on the corners, that's all you need to get a run in.
Popped up by Sawyer, foul ground, first base side. Moving under it is Jessica Feerick, and she makes the catch to end the inning. But the Saints take the early lead against Sarah Clancy here in the bottom of the second as DUville scores 1 run on no hits. There was a leadoff walk and nobody left on base. To the top of the third we go here in Game 7, and the score is now DUville 1 and St. Thomas Aquinas nothing.
Whoever put in the game and sees these stats has tomorrow's beat for this game.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
St. Thomas Aquinas, the left fielder.
Sarah Pargich now has a 1-run lead as the Spartans come to bat here as the visitors on the scoreboard in the top of the third of this winner-take-all Game 7, trailing 1-0. Maristella Coira will lead off. She'll be followed by Jordan Gauthier and Elise Marcano. Coira, a left-handed batter wearing number 5 and playing left field. 1-0 pitch, misses high, 2-0.
Well, I misspoke during the last half inning.
Went around on the check swing. Sorry, Joe.
No problem. I'm the one who should be apologizing. I misspoke and said runners on first and third. It was a runner on third, as they did get the out at first on the sacrifice.
Coira in Game 6 went 2 for 3 with a pair of infield singles and a stolen base. She lines this one off of the glove of Pargich, past the dive of Arno into center field for a base hit. So Coira now has 3 hits and 4 at-bats in Games 6 and 7 combined. And for the second, I should say the third consecutive inning, the Spartans have a leadoff base runner against Sarah Pargich. In steps the number 9 hitter, Jordan Gauthier. She bunts it in front of the plate. It's fielded by Becca Sawyer, and she fires over to first in time to retire Gauthier. But it's a successful sacrifice bunt. The putout goes 5-4. And that moves the tying run into scoring position at second base in Maristella Coira. Now it's back to the top of the order. And Elise Marcano. Drew a leadoff walk against Pargich in the first to kick off this Game 7. And thought she had second base stolen. But after the umpires got together and the replay that we saw in slow motion, it showed that she left the base too early before the pitch was released. And the end result was a put-out charge to Gabby Moreno, 3 unassisted. And then that enabled Pargich to face the minimum in that first inning, inducing Adriana Coira to pop out and Eliana Raposo to fly out.
And with that last foul ball being taken off the shin by Marcano, they give her a moment to regather herself, and good show of sportsmanship by the Saints to have a conversation in the circle.
St. Thomas Aquinas in Game 6 went 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Can you change that number here and get even? Lifted in the air to shallow center field. In comes Shibish, and she makes the catch. Holding at second is Maristella Coira, and that's out number 2.
And you will certainly take that if you are DUville. The runner doesn't move up, which is a bonus, but I always say it, those are the outs you really need to get ahead of the big bats in the order. You get a chance now with a third out in this spot to ensure that Raposo leads off the next inning with the bases empty.
Adriana Coira goes after the first pitch and fouls it off. Coira popped out to short her first time up. Well, Parjic, as we were mentioning in the first inning, has a very good batting average against of just .271 in her prior 25 appearances. And she's the only pitcher on the Saints roster with a winning record at 12-7. So that's who you want in the circle in this winner-take-all Game 7.
There's no doubt that she was going to get the start if it got this far.
Popped up, foul ground, first base side. In comes Gabby Moreno, and she will make the catch to end the inning. The Spartans threaten but do not score in the third. After 2.5 innings, the score remains DYU 1 and St. Thomas Aquinas nothing. Mike Moore, Joe Foreman, back with you from Spartan Field here in Spark Hill, New York. And thank you so much for tuning in to this winner-take-all Game 7 of the 2025 East Coast Conference Softball Championship Tournament. And if you've been watching all tournament long, thank you as well across the globe here on the ECC network. It'll be 9-1-2 in the order for the Saints, looking to add to a 1-0 lead. Sophia Arnaud will get her first look at Sarah Clancy here in Game 7 as she takes the first pitch. Belt high for a called strike. Arnaud will be followed by Emily Shibich and Gianna Adamo. Arnaud, a right-handed batter wearing number 2. She's the shortstop. And she fouls the 0-1 pitch off to the right side. Arnaud in Game 6 is 0 for 3 with a pair of groundouts and a foul out. 1-2. And that's off the plate. We'll give you the numbers for Sarah Clancy entering today's championship Saturday. Obviously, she suffered the loss in Game 6. Game 1 of our doubleheader today. 1-2 is a beautiful off-speed pitch taken for a called strike 3.
That was a really good breaking ball, Mike. You'll see it here on replay. Completely locked Arnaud up to get the called strike 3.
That's the first strikeout of the afternoon for Clancy. Back to the top of the order now, and Emily Shibish, who singled her first time up. So for the East Coast Conference Pitcher of the Year in Sarah Clancy. Prior to the Game 6 start, she appeared in 28 games, 26 as a starter, going 17-9 with an earned run average just north of 3 at 3.03. But that includes 20 complete games and 5 shutouts as well in 161 2/3 innings pitched. .155 hits surrendered, so less than a hit per inning. 79 runs, 70 earned, 40 walks, and 109 strikeouts. We mentioned the very impressive batting average against by her opponent in the circle today in Sarah Parjic, I should say. Grounded to first, it's fielded by Jessica Farrick, and she takes it to the bag herself to retire Shibish for the second out.
Parjic has one of those last names that you don't think you need the pronunciation guide for, but then when you flip that roster over, you see that it is not pronounced Parzic. It is, in fact, pronounced Parjic.
So Parjic had a 271 batting average against. Very impressive. Clancy just 252. Adamo grounds the first pitch to the right side. Moving to his left is Marcano, and the throw to first will end the inning. So it's a very productive and economical 1-2-3 frame for Sarah Clancy, her first here in game number 7. We move to the top of the 4th here in Sparkill with Uville out in front of St. Thomas Aquinas, 1-0.
What's your big dream? At St. Thomas Aquinas College, we dare you to imagine all you can achieve in your career and beyond. In a close-knit community dedicated to your success, your education is personalized for what matters most to you. You'll learn by doing, discover your gifts, and ignite your passion.
Spartans send the heart of the order up here against Sarah Parjic in the top of the 4th, trailing 1-0. Eliana Raposo will lead off. And the first pitch catches the inside corner for a called strike. Raposo will be followed by Sofia Morella and Trinidad Santiago. Raposo flied out to right field her first time up. Well, one pitch is fouled back. The umpires in game number 7 behind home plate calling the balls and strikes is Scott Makosi. Robert Everett is the first base umpire, and Stan Bramarovich is the umpire over at third. Raposo still looking for her first hit this afternoon. 0 for 4. And she takes the pitch outside, 1-2.
We mentioned that she's been a big part of the Spartans' power surge throughout this tournament, and that you'd still love to face her with the bases empty, as Parjic does. That doesn't stop her from tying this game with one big swing.
Fouled off, and we'll do it again at 1-2 strikes.
Another foul ball taken off the chin of a Spartan.
Raposo, a team-leading .418 batting average. Also tops on the roster in doubles with 14, home runs with 14 as well, and second in runs batted in at 46 behind Sofia Morello, who stands on deck. Pitches outside, and the count is even at 2-2 strikes, and the power numbers are there for Raposo. 28 extra base hits, a .784 slugging percentage, and a .458 on-base percentage as well. 2-2 is lined to third and caught by Becca Sawyer for the first out. That has been the story of this championship tournament. The plays made by the hot corner position at third by all the teams in this ECC championship.
You can't get anything past the Saints infield, Mike, especially on a line. Here's a look. We may have to slow it down even further. Blink, and you missed it. But Sawyer is there yet again, and she makes another impressive snag on a hard hit line drive.
In steps Sofia Morella. And she takes strike 1. Morella singled, leading off the top of the 2nd. Morella went 1 for 3 in game 6. Morella, a second-team all-conference member. Fly ball to deep left field. Going back is Hayes looking up, and that is a foul ball. So it had home run distance, but just foul, and a sigh of relief for Sarah Parjic in the circle.
I'm not sure how well you'll be able to track this ball on the wide shot. I'm assuming not too well, but here's a look at that last swing again from behind home plate. And Morella believed that just maybe that one might stay fair, but it was not so. And the Saints dodge a bullet there.
So 1-2 now the count to Morella. And that pitch is taken on the outside corner for a called strike 3. First strikeout this afternoon for Parjic. Now she gets Morella looking for out number 2.
Looked like Morella didn't like the call, and she certainly did not. Heads back to the dugout a bit exasperated there. They're 2 away in the inning.
Trinidad Santiago steps in. She had the second of back-to-back singles to start the second inning, but the first one off the bat of Morella narrowly missed from being a home run. It went off of the right field fence. It was fielded perfectly by Laura Beck, who fired a strike into second, and Morella was erased trying to stretch a single into a double. 0-1. This is high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Santiago, a first-team all-conference member from Cheshire, Connecticut. A transfer from UMass Lowell. Popped up, first base side out of play. So Parjic is looking for her first 1-2-3 inning. She faced the minimum in the first, helped out by Marcano, who led off with a 4-pitch walk, thinking she stole second, but then was called out by the umpires for leaving too soon before the pitch was thrown. The 1-2 is a high fly ball to center field. In comes Emily Shibich, and she makes the catch to end the inning. The Spartans go in order in the 4th. They lead this winner-take-all game 7, 1-0, halfway through. Sarah Clancy back in the circle for her 4th inning of work. The graduate student from California, a transfer from Georgian Court, as we mentioned. First team All East Coast Conference member and the ECC co-pitcher of the year to go along with Skylar Brandemart of the Mercy University Mavericks. 1 run allowed thus far on just 1 hit. A walk and a strikeout. And she'll face the heart of the order for the Saints in the middle of the 4th. Annie Jorgensen, Summer Clark, and Laura Beck. Jorgensen grounded out to short her first time up. Jorgensen 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored back in game number 6. She takes ball 1 low from Clancy. Lefty-righty matchup, the 1-0. Is a high fly ball to right field. Fairly deep. Going back is Jordan Gauthier, and she makes the catch to retire Jorgensen.
Jorgensen made a bid there, took that one to within 5 feet of the wall. But fortunately for the Spartans, that one stays in the ballpark, and there's one away in the inning for Summer Clark.
Clark flied out to center field to end the first. Clark 2 for 3 with an RBI double and a run scored in Game 6.
Here's a look at that last swing by Jorgensen again. You see just how close it was from a bit further away.
Summer Clark, the junior from Williamsville, New York, out of Williamsville East High School. Little tapper in front of the circle, fielded by Clancy. She spins and throws to first. And that's the second out.
Well, despite the loud out number one, it's 2 quick outs in the inning for Clancy. And when you're trailing by just the run, as it gets later in the game, you hope to keep it right there.
And since the leadoff walk in the second to Laura Beck, the batter at the plate now. Clancy has since erased 7 batters in a row. Grounded up the middle through the legs of Clancy. Coira to her left, gobbles it up and throws to first in time to retire the side. Saints go in order in the fourth. We move to the fifth here from Spartan Field in Spark Hill, New York, with DYU out in front of STAC 1-0.
Great seats at a great price? Get them safer, simpler, and smarter with Ticket Smarter. A proud partner to the biggest names in live sports and events, including ESPN events and iHeartRadio. Ticket Smarter has seats for over 125,000 live events and 48 million tickets for sale. All backed with the Ticket Smarter 100% ticket guarantee. Thinking about your next great live event? Think smarter. Think Ticket Smarter. Get your tickets your way, guaranteed, at Ticketsmarter.com.
Mike Moore, Joe Foreman back with you from Spartan Field here in Spark Hill, New York. Thank you so much for tuning into this winner-take-all Game 7 around the world, courtesy of the ECC Network. STAC, the visitors on the scoreboard, trail on their home field 1-0 as they send 6, 7, and 8 up in the order. Jessica Fierick, Olivia Leone, and Maristella Coira. Fierick lined out to Shannon House in left field, her first time up, facing Sarah Parjic, who has tossed 4 scoreless innings thus far and 4 hits allowed, a walk and a strikeout. Righty-righty matchup. Parjic's first pitch dots the outside corner for a called strike.
Fierick 0 for 1 at the plate in this game.
0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a ground out in Game 6. The 0-1 pitch bounces in front of the plate, and that levels a count at 1-1.
Spartans really began to turn their fortunes around late in Game 1, but they entered the late stages with just 3 hits in that game. They've been held to 1 hit in this game by Parjic.
Fly ball to deep right field. Going back is Laura Beck. She has room and makes the catch for the first out.
There's another loud first out to open up the top half of the fifth after we saw Jorgensen hit one to a very similar spot in the bottom of the fourth. We'll get one more look at that big swing right here on replay.
Nine out of the last 10 retired by Parjic, including 7 in a row. As Olivia Leone steps in, and she hits the first pitch up the middle. Moving to her left is Arnaud, and the throw to first erases Leone by a step for the second out, scored 6-3. Leone in Game 1 was 1 for 3 and had a base hit taken away from her in her first at bat, and the second on a nice sliding catch by Laura Beck in right.
Let's see just how close it was at first base.
Leone thought she was safe. And
really tough. We'll have to slow it down a bit more. We'll come back to it after this next pitch.
Maristella Coira fouls one back. Coira singled to lead off the third. Now has 3 hits in 4 at-bats in games 6 and 7 combined, including a pair of infield singles and a stolen base. That was in game number 6. take a look again at the replay.
That's as close to a tie as it gets, Mike. That's a really tough call, and if we can't figure it out on replay after 2 watches, certainly can't fault the first base umpire.
So the count even at a ball and a strike to Maristella Coira. Grounded foul.
I'm giving it a frame-by-frame look right now. I'm inclined to say they got it right. I think she was out. I think she's out.
Good call by Robert Everett over at first base.
That's a great call because that's as close as it gets. I had to go frame by frame to get it.
Maristella Coira goes down looking, and that will retire the side. 9 in a row now erased by Sarah Parjic, as she has her second strikeout of the afternoon. Spartans go in order in the 5th. They move to the bottom half of inning number 5 here in this winner-take-all Game 7, with the DYU out in front of STAC by the count of 1-0.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
This 1-0 pitchers duel moves to the home half of inning number 5. As you can see on your screens, the DYU University Saints, the 4 seed, are the home team in this winner-take-all Game 7. And the first pitch to Gabby Moreno misses outside for ball 1. Moreno will be followed by Shannon House and Becca Sawyer, 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Moreno had a sacrifice bunt her first time up. And that was very important because it enabled the leadoff walk and base runner Laura Beck to go first to third. And then she scored the lone run of this Game 7 on a sacrifice fly produced by Shannon Howes waiting on deck. 2-1 pitch, 2-0 pitch, I should say, misses high, and it's 3-0.
And Mike, we spoke a lot about this DUville team, and Nick and I spoke about it on Thursday, how they came in with the best batting average in the ECC during the regular season, but they're pitching today. Absolutely phenomenal. It's been the reason why they're ahead in this game and why they won Game 1.
Moreno went 1 for 3 in Game 6 earlier today. And now, after a sacrifice bunt to begin her Game 7, she draws a leadoff walk to start the bottom of the 5th. The second free pass surrendered by Sarah Clancy. So that'll bring up Shannon Howes. Going to have a pinch runner at first. It's going to be Allie Biardi.
Biardi's been the first pinch runner off the bench for DUville throughout the entire weekend. Has gotten the call out of the DUville dugout quite often as the first pinch runner off the bench.
House shows bunt and takes the first pitch in the turf for ball 1. And they're actually saying on the appeal, first base umpire Robert Everett said that House went around, so the count is 0-1.
Oh, we have a great look at that as well.
Punted foul, and quickly it's 0-2. House in Game 1 was 1 for 3. That one hit an RBI double. She had a sacrifice fly in her first at bat here in Game 7. I should say Game 6 earlier today, not Game 1.
Yeah, it's really tough, Mike. I've said Game 1 probably more often than I've said Game 6. So perhaps I owe the donation jar a few.
House now has 10 runs batted in on the season. 0-2 is fouled away. And that pitch there with House at the plate, you see that a lot here at the collegiate level, softball-wise, the running start that the batters try to get, especially lefties, out of the batter's box. Popped up towards the middle of the diamond. The shortstop, Adriana Coira, moves under it and makes the catch for the first out.
And speaking of that running start, that's how we've seen some of those illegally batted balls that have been called throughout the weekend. You try and gain that extra advantage, that step down the first base line, perhaps trying to use that body weight to direct the ball where you want it, and you illegally make contact outside of the box.
Becca Sawyer fouled out to first in her opening turn at the plate.
Runner left early.
Runner left early again, Mike.
Another runner left
And
early, so that will be the second of the game. The first committed by the Saints.
No pitch on the batter. Got you.
So the pitch is erased. Biardi is
It wasn't
called
close,
out.
Mike. It wasn't close either. That's the second time they just blatantly left early. Or a runner has blatantly left early. I'll slow it down for you. Just wanted to make sure we got in one look before the next pitch.
the putout goes 3 unassisted.
Here's a look slowed down, and like I said, it was not close. Way off the base, ball still in the hand.
So 1-1 is the count now. With 2 out and nobody on. To the batter at the plate. And Becca Sawyer. Sawyer was 0 for 3. Actually 0 for 2 in game at number 6. Now 0 for 3 overall this afternoon.
Just 4 hits total in this game.
Clancy shakes off Leone. Now agrees with the sign, and the 1-2 is popped up. Foul ground first base side. Diving attempt made by Marcano as it glances off of her glove. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. What an effort on the part of Elise Marcano at second base.
And we're going to get a look at it again, Mike, but on the topic of hits in this game, as I mentioned the 4 total, I may have misspoke earlier and said the Spartans had just the 1 hit. It is DYU with just the 1 hit. As you get a look at that last play from our vantage point behind home plate.
Team all conference member. And earlier this week, Marcano was named to the East Coast Conference Honor Roll, hitting .538 with 4 RBIs, 4 runs scored, 4 stolen bases, and 2 doubles. She has had an unforgettable season at the top of the lineup for head coach Kristen Sullivan and the St. Thomas Aquinas College Spartans. The Spartans are looking for the three-peat, but they are running out of time here.
All right, Mike.
5 offensive outs remaining.
I think our internet situation is sorted out again. We had to give it the old reboot for the second time, but I don't think we ever went fully offline, so I think we're all good.
Well, that's good news.
I'm in charge today.
2-2 is pulled over the first base bag. That's a fair ball. No, a foul ball. Pardon me. Robert Everett immediately had a bird's eye view, said foul ball. We'll do it again at 2-2, and out comes Shelly Horner, the first-year head coach for the Spartans, thinking that that was a fair ball, and now Scott McCosey and Robert Everett will get together, and the call stands as a foul ball. And
getting a closer view after pan ahead a bit. That's one replay too soon. The look we want is right here.
Shelly Horner very frustrated, having some choice words for home plate umpire Scott McCosey. thinking that should have been his call. Two-two is lined to first and caught by Gabby Moreno for the second out. So Moreno thought she may have had a 3 unassisted put out in the prior pitch thrown by Sarah Parjic, but she'll gladly take the liner into the first base glove. 2 out and nobody on for Adriana Coira, who has popped out and fouled out. First pitch misses high for ball 1. $11 in a row now retired by Parjic. 13 of the last 14 as well. 1-0 is off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Parjic so far pitching the game of her life when she needs it most. Fly ball to left center field. Moving to her right is Emily Shibish, and she makes the catch to end the inning. Sarah Parjic remains in cruise control as she has her 3rd consecutive 1-2-3 inning overall. We move to the bottom half of inning number 6 in this winner-take-all Game 7, with the DYU University Saints, the 4 seed, leading the top-seeded St. Thomas Aquinas College Spartans 1-0.
What's your big dream? At St. Thomas Aquinas College, we dare you to imagine all you can achieve in your career and beyond. In a close-knit community dedicated to your success, your education is personalized for what matters most to you. You'll learn by doing, discover your gifts, and ignite your passion.
Well, I do have to say one thing here, Joe, and I'm very happy to report this. Down 1-0 here in the 7th inning. Sarah Clancy is all smiles in the circle, talking to her battery mate, Olivia Leone. We know the magnitude of this game, but it's just nice to see that she seemed very calm, cool, and collective out there.
Well, I said it yesterday. If you're not enjoying yourself on the broadcast, you're in the wrong line of work. If you're not enjoying yourself out there playing the game of softball, what are you doing? You know, you have to have fun out there, as frustrating as it can be sometimes.
Grounded to the left side. Coira has it and fires to first in time. That's a terrific play. Adriana Coira to her right shows some range and throws out her opposite number in Sophia Arno for the first out.
Another close play at first, forced in part by good speed on the side of DeUville. We've seen it throughout the weekend. These DeUville base runners, whether on base already or coming out of the box, tough outs.
Back to the top of the order now, and Emily Shibish, who tries to bunt her way on, and she went around, says home plate umpire Scott McCosey, 0-1 is the count. Shibish is 1 for 2. She has singled and grounded out. Grounded back to the circle. And nobody was covering first base. How about that? Sarah Clancy looking into the third base dugout. The first baseman, Fierick, was in with the potential bunt for Shibish, and Elise Marcano did not cover first, so it's a gift infield single for Emily Shibish. And the Spartans, who are looking to keep this deficit at a single run, now have Sarah Clancy trying to put this inning to bed. As Gianna Adamo steps in. 0-1 is the count. So that's the second hit in 3 at-bats for Shibish against Clancy.
What are the odds they try and steal here, Mike?
Well, you have a lot of speed at first. We'll see. Bunted foul. And the count is 0-2 to Adamo. Shibish now has the only 2 hits for the Saints against Sarah Clancy.
What a turnaround from the first inning of Game 6, where the Saints jumped all over Clancy. It's been a tremendous rebound effort for her.
Strike 3 called as Adamo is erased on 3 pitches for the second out. And that's the second strikeout for Sarah Clancy. She has allowed just 4 base runners, 2 singles, both to the leadoff batter and Emily Shibish. A leadoff walk in the second to Laura Beck. And a leadoff walk in the 5th to Gabby Moreno. Here's Annie Jorgensen, who has grounded out and flied out. And she takes the first pitch for a called strike.
And that flyout was allowed out to deep right field. An extra base hit here almost certainly doubles the Saints' lead, so you need to be careful pitching to Jorgensen, even with 2 outs and a runner on first.
0-1 is a changeup taken for a called strike, and it's 0-2. So Clancy, in her 3rd go-around now, has faced 21 batters and has thrown 12 first-pitch strikes. Now remember, the Spartans are coming up in the 7th inning as the visiting team. 0-2. Breaking ball misses, not by much. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's been a terrific bread and butter pitch for Sarah Clancy, not only today, but all tournament long.
Here's one more look at that last one.
That did not miss by much. 1-2. This is low.
Good discipline there by Jorgensen. She wanted to offer at that pitch.
Annie Jorgensen, the freshman from Victoria, British Columbia, out of Belmont High School. Sure, she has many family and friends watching. 2-2 is fouled out of play.
Well, there was a time where you could go back and view all of the broadcast data, including view count and all of these different metrics. At some point, that information was wiped. Can't access it anymore, unfortunate.
This would be Clancy's 72nd pitch here in Game 7. 2-2. It's pulled foul. Brad Sarno, the Assistant Director of Athletics for Athletic Communications, to my right, informing us of that information. So we thank Brad for that. Thank you to all of the St. Thomas Aquinas College Spartan staff for their hospitality all tournament long. They've been terrific. Camera crew has been awesome as well. This tournament has been a lot of fun. 2-2, just off the plate. And a good battle going on here between Sarah Clancy and Annie Jorgensen. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. The payoff is fouled away.
Well, 2 words that my broadcast partner and I, Nicholas Bavona, on Thursday said many times: high drama. And if you're a fan of the game of softball, there's no way that you haven't enjoyed this tournament. It has been a blast covering it with you, Mike, and with Nick on Thursday. And we still have some crucial outs remaining.
3-2 pitch is fouled away. So this is an epic battle going on now between Sarah Clancy and Annie Jorgensen. This next pitch will be the 10th of the at-bat between Clancy in the circle and Jorgensen at the plate. The payoff, another foul ball.
You see enough of these, Mike, and eventually you may get around on one. These lengthy battles, I think, typically go to the advantage of the hitter, but a very talented pitcher in the circle in Clancy. If anyone can figure out a way out of this against a very dangerous batter, it's Clancy. She's looking to turn this game over to her offense, trailing by just 1.
And the payoff pitch misses, ball 4. So on the 11th pitch of the at-bat, Annie Jorgensen wins the battle. Just the third walk issued by Sarah Clancy. And that will put runners at first and second with 2 away for the cleanup hitter, Summer Clark.
And isn't it fitting that Clark would come up in this spot? Clark's had the huge week beginning on Sunday, helping DYU into the postseason. Had a great outing in her first start of this weekend's championship on Friday. And now here on Saturday, she has a chance to double the DYU lead with 2 on and 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
Taylor Stronzinski is the pinch runner at first. Clark is 0 for 2. She has flied out and grounded back to the circle. So Taylor Stronzinski, a freshman from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Another Canadian over at first base. Oh, 1 is fouled away. And looking at the Saints roster, they have 7 players that reside in Canada. How about that?
They are right on the border. You can see across the border very nearly from where DYU is located. I actually have never been there. That's going to change this week, but I checked it out on a map looking for some lodging in the area and came to find just how close they are to our neighbors to the north.
I'm sure Stronzinski will be watching the Jets taking on the Blues tomorrow in their winner-take-all Game 7 in Winnipeg.
And we've seen this before as well, Mike. 2-strike count on Clark. That off-speed pitch from Clancy, getting her out in front. That swing and miss has been really elusive.
Pitch count continues to rise for Clancy. Again, the 0-2. And it's rolled foul. And
there it is again.
This is a team, Joe, in the Saints. Now they're playing in game number 41, and they came into game 6 today with 110 strikeouts, so they put the ball in play. And they have long turns at bat. Grounded to the shortstop, Coira, who bobbles it, and everybody is safe.
Critical mistake on the field by the Spartans. We saw Game 6 begin that way, and here in the 6th inning of Game 7, that one really hurts.
So that'll be an error charge to Adriana Coira. Now the bases are loaded with Saints. As Laura Beck steps in looking for some insurance. She takes the first pitch on the outer half for a called strike. Take a look at the replay, and you wonder how much the runner got in her way in Shibish. Right there.
Those are tough with the minimal amount of distance between short and home.
One is fouled off, and advantage Clancy. It's 0-2 to Laura Beck. In the top of the 7th, the Spartans are scheduled to send up the heart of the order. Eliana Raposo, Sophia Morella, and Trinidad Santiago. This is the biggest at-bat in this entire tournament for Sarah Clancy to keep the deficit at a run. Outside, 1-2.
She was ahead 0-2 again. We'll see if she can put the batter away, but with the smaller diamond in the game of softball, that ball gets on you quick at short when the runner gets in front of you and obstructs your vision for just a moment. Not an easy play.
1-2. There's a high fly ball to deep center field. Going back is Raposo. She has room, and she makes the catch. Side retired. Sarah Clancy makes the pitch that she needs to as she's able to keep the Saints off of the scoreboard in the bottom of the 6th. For DYU, no runs on 1 hit. There was a walk, 1 error, and the bases were left loaded. Last chance for the Spartans. We move to the top of the 7th in this winner-take-all Game 7 with the 4th-seeded DUville Saints leading the top-seeded St. Thomas Aquinas College Spartans 1-0. Sarah Parjic has 9 complete games in her prior 19 game starts. Her 10th complete game could give the DUville University Saints their first East Coast Conference championship in school history. Eliana Raposo steps in. First pitch. This is away for ball 1. Raposo will be followed by Sofia Morella and Trinidad Santiago. 3, 4, and 5, heart of the order for the Spartans. Raposo has flied out to right and lined out to third. The 1-0. Popped foul, and that evens a count at a ball and a strike. And, Joe, you were talking about it earlier. I want to make sure that we're clarifying this. This is the first year that DUville is eligible for postseason? Second year, okay.
Second year. First appearance, second year of eligibility.
So in just their potentially second year here of eligibility, they are 3 defensive outs away from an ECC softball championship. How about that? Fans in Buffalo are waiting. Swing and a miss. Good tailing pitch from Parjic. And she gets ahead on the East Coast Conference Player of the Year in Eliana Raposo, a ball and 2 strikes.
And that might be the best pitch she's made all game.
Open stance from the right side of the batter's box for Raposo. The 1-2 is popped up in front of home plate, and the catcher, Annie Jorgensen, in fair territory, makes the play for the first out.
And look how she catches this ball, Mike. It almost looked like that one handcuffed her in front of the plate. She made the basket catch rather than a more traditional backhanded grab. One might argue this is a bit easier, but certainly much more unorthodox.
Oh, 0-1 the count to Sofia Morella, who has singled and struck out looking. "13 in a row retired by Parjic. 15 of the last 16 as well.
Tremendous starting pitching today for DUville.
Grounded to short, fielded by Arno. The throw to first in time, scored 6-3. And the Spartans are down to their final out of the tournament. As Trinidad Santiago steps in.
Seen her homer already in this tournament. If you're the Spartans, you desperately need something here. You'd certainly take the home run, but a base runner prolongs this game and brings the potential tying run onto base and go-ahead run to the plate.
On this Kentucky Derby day, you could say that Sarah Parjic is coming on here like a thoroughbred. 14 in a row retired and 16 of the last 17. Santiago has singled and flied out to center. 0-1. This is high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now remember, again, just to remind everybody, the Spartans, despite playing on their home field, are the visitors.
That almost got me. I almost said bring the winning run to the plate. I was so close.
The 1-1. Taken for a called strike. And now the Spartans are down to their final strike of the tournament. Sarah Parjic and the DUville University Saints, 1 strike away from an ECC softball championship. The 1-2 is a high fly ball to center field. Camping under is Emily Shibish, and she makes the catch, and the ball game is over. And in just their second year of eligibility in the East Coast Conference, the DYU University Saints are the 2025 East Coast Conference softball champions. In the top of the 7th for the St. Thomas Aquinas College Spartans, nothing across. The final score this afternoon from Spartan Field in Spark Hill, New York, in Game 7 of the 2025 East Coast Conference Softball Championship Tournament. It was the 4th-seeded DYU University Saints 1 and the top-seeded St. Thomas Aquinas College Spartans nothing. What a finish by Sarah Parjic as she erases the final 15 batters she faces and 17 of the last 18 overall. Wow.
What a run this week for the Saints. It began at Staten Island on Sunday. It continued through this ECC championship. They played in a pair of thrillers yesterday, and things really began to turn in their direction in a big way when they scored 7 to take the win against Mercy 10-3. That's when this surge really began. We knew this team was a team to be reckoned with coming in. We knew that they were a capable offensive team. We knew that their top-end arms were good. This weekend, Mike, they were better than great. They were fantastic, phenomenal. Every word that we've used this weekend to describe their effort was warranted. Their pitching in these last 2 games here in Game 6 and Game 7 today, I don't really have words for what we saw. The Spartans are a team that all season long put up good offensive numbers. Second best batting average in the conference behind DYU. None of that really mattered in these last 2 games. The DYU pitching, excellent, and they did just enough here in Game 7 at the plate, scoring the 1 run. Some small ball, got that run in. That's all Sarah Parjic needed, an all-time performance.
Let the party begin in Buffalo. The DYU University Saints are celebrating, and now they head over towards the right field corner to acknowledge the Saints faithful who made the trip from Buffalo. And the monitor says it all. The DYU University Saints, for the first time in program history, in just their second year of eligibility in postseason play, are the 2025 East Coast Conference softball champions. And Joe, they are going to be a very tough out in the NCAA tournament. And we talked about this during game number 6 when they put up that 5 spot in the top of the first. St. Thomas Aquinas finishes 30-19. Have they done enough to get an at-large bid? If not, of course, the emails can come to me because I had discussed that. But this is a team that was just 22-18 overall, now 23-18 in DYU. And nobody really thought that they were going to be the ones holding up the hardware.
Well, to be fair, Mike, while we may have some frustration with you, there's also going to be some frustration with me on the side of Malloy. It looked like they had their game in hand against DYU, and the Saints' bats have been quiet for much of that game. I thought going into that final inning, I said it, 3 runs. You probably feel like that's enough if you're Malloy. It was not enough. The Saints score 4, and while that started their run to the conference championship here in the tournament, that 7th spot really seemed to set things ablaze, for lack of a better phrase, if you were DYU. The huge inning that they put together against Mercy is really what jump-started their run to the conference championship. That game saw them with a lead. It got away as the Mavericks tied it, and then late in that game, the 7 runs pushed them to the finish.
Now we'll send it over to Brad Sarno, the Assistant Director of Athletics for Athletic Communications here at St. Thomas Aquinas College.
Fans, before we begin our awards presentation, we'd like to congratulate ECC runner-up St. Thomas Aquinas College on a great 2025 season. members of the Saints championship squad. Number 2, Sophia Arnaud. Number 3, Emily Shibish. Number 4, Gianna Adamo. Number 5, Isabella Mancino. Number 7, Ali Biardi. Number 8, Becca Sawyer. Number 9, Kendall Lennon. Number 11, Taylor Stronsinski. Number 12, Sarah Parsich. Number 13, Mia Traitley. Number 15, Laura Beck. Number 16, Leah Batterson. Number 20, Danielle Fenlong. Number 22, Haley Jenkins. Number 23, Annie Jorgensen. Number 26, Shannon Howes. Number 27, Alex Packard. Number 32, Summer Clark. Number 33, Gabby Moreno. And number 42, Georgia Sangulans. The assistant coaches, Taylor Thorpe and Mackenzie McCullen. And the head coach of DYU University, Shelley Horner. Fans, we ask that you please turn your attention once again to the field for the presentation of the most outstanding player of the tournament trophy. This year's most outstanding player is Sarah Parsich from DYU University. Of DYU University for winning the 2025 ECC Softball Championship. Good luck in the NCAAs.
Hotspot just rebooted. Switch to my phone. Hold on 1 second.
I know for a fact.
Test, test.
Joe Foreman back with you here on the ECC Network as Mike is joined by our 2025 East Coast Conference Softball Championship Most Outstanding Player. Mike standing by with Sarah Parjic.
I'm joined here by Tournament Most Outstanding Player, Sarah Parjic. First of all, congratulations on winning the 2025 East Coast Conference Softball Championship. And just take us through game number 7 in the circle, a winner-take-all performance by you, a complete game victory, your second win in the tournament. What are the emotions going through your mind right now as you raise the trophy as East Coast Conference champions?
I mean, the whole season, especially coming into tournament play, we've really been emphasizing calm and composed. That was our, motto and our goal throughout this entire tournament, no matter what. And I think my mindset was just trusting my teammates because every single person on that team has picked me up all year long, and there wasn't a doubt in my mind that we wouldn't do it today.
You're facing a very potent offense in St. Thomas Aquinas on their home field. So what was your approach 1 through 9? No easy out in that lineup. So just give us an idea about how you were thinking each at bat going up against this really good offense in the Spartans.
I think we really strive to get first pitch strikes. I feel like that's repetitive. A lot of people strive for that, but definitely getting ahead in the count and just pitching to contact, I think, was our goal. I really trust my defense. We've had some outstanding game-changing plays this tournament. So I guess the goal pitching was just spin the ball and pitch to contact.
Now you're a senior here with this DYU University Saints team. Just tell us about the connection you've had not only in this tournament, but with your battery mate all season long in Annie Jorgensen, a freshman, and how important was it for you to both be on the same page here during this winner-take-all Game 7 and throughout the entire tournament as well?
I think for us, team dynamic was number one, and no matter if you're a freshman or a senior, there's leaders on and off the field, and every single person on our team embodied that. So me and her just got on the same page, and she was keeping me calm and collected, and I was chatting her up in the dugout, and that's what we like to do with each other. So we were good all game, I guess.
Now your second year in the program here in terms of postseason eligibility, and you win the conference championship, you hoist the trophy, and now it's on to the NCAA tournament. So what are the emotions feeling like right now as your teammates hoisted the trophy for the first time in school history?
I think coming in here, we knew we were the underdogs, and I think a lot of people underestimated us. And we embodied that and used it to our advantage. And I believe every single person on that team didn't have a doubt that we could hoist that trophy up, and I'm just happy we got it done.
And any family or friends that you'd like to say hello to that may be watching the broadcast back home right now?
Hi to my dad and my brother and Paul, and my mom's here, and just thank you everyone for watching. We have a really great fan base at DYU. A lot of people came here, but we appreciate you guys. We wouldn't be here without you.
Sarah, congratulations, and thank you for the time.
Thank you so much.
That was Sarah Parzic. As we send it back to you, Joe.
All right. Thank you, Mike, and thank you to our 2025 East Coast Conference Softball Championship Most Outstanding Player, Sarah Parjic. And it looks like Mike is about to be joined by first-year DUville head coach Shelly Horner. Mike, take it away.
Thank you, Joe. Shelly Horner, in your first season here, the emotions say it all as we concluded the interview with Sarah Parjic, the tournament most outstanding player. A big hug on your part to her. So what is the feeling like right now in your first season at the helm for the DUville University Saints? That T-shirt and the trophy says it all. East Coast Conference softball champions.
I'm just so proud of the entire program. You know, the team, obviously we've got some support staff that has helped us get here, from our administration to our athletic training. But the team just bought in from day one when I got there, and my staff got there in August. And it's been a we over me mentality. We were the underdogs, and, you know, we just continue to fight through it all. And I'm just so proud of them. It takes the entire village, and it took the entire team to fight back through the loser's bracket.
And just take us through the entire tournament. You came in as the 4th seed, and you lose that first game. So now you know in order to hoist the trophy, you have to win 4 consecutive elimination games. You get the job done yesterday, and now here on Championship Saturday, you have to pick up back-to-back victories with your backs against the wall. So what was the mindset of the team coming into this Championship Saturday and throughout the entire tournament, knowing one loss and the season will be over?
You know, our goal in August was postseason. And when we got to postseason, it was, hey, we're here to win. And then it's a short-term memory, the first game that we lost. And we just played pitch by pitch, inning by inning, and it was kind of like house money. And we just had, house money on us, and we just kept fighting together, and we loved on each other, we played for each other, and that definitely showed. And I think that's what has made us successful this year, but a testament to the entire team for just buying in and again, having that have fun mentality, but go to work. And that's exactly what this team did, especially when their backs were up against the wall. But we didn't take it too seriously yesterday. We just, hey, continue to pass the bat. And I think that was important. Our pitching staff, between Summer and Sarah were outstanding. But we had their backs. We made some great plays defensively, some great pinch at bats, pinch runs. But it took everyone. And I'm just so proud of this team. And just to bring this back to DUville and back to Buffalo would show how strong Buffalo is.
Two really big half innings proved to be the difference in this tournament for you. A 4 spot in the bottom of the 7th yesterday for the walk-off victory versus Malloy. And then in Game 6 against the East Coast Conference co-pitcher of the year, a 5 spot in the top of the 1st. So how much did that half inning propel this team moving forward on this championship Saturday?
Sure, momentum is everything, and it's just when you continue to play for one another and just have that momentum on your side, you're making great defensive plays, come in and take advantage of some miscues. Hey, sometimes things just, it's better to be lucky sometimes than good, and we just had some things fall our way, but we worked our butts off for this championship.
Summer Clark, an RBI double and the complete game win back in game number 6. And Sarah Partridge, the most outstanding player, a complete game victory in game number 7. Her second win of the tournament. Joe, just tell us a little bit about those two performances and those two players as well.
Those two pitchers have carried us all year, and they're completely different, but their mindset was give me the ball. We talked a lot in the dugouts yesterday, like, hey, how you feeling? Do we, are we going to make a change? Are we not? But it's communication between our pitching coach, Mackenzie McCullen, and our pitchers and myself, and we just, felt that, going with Sarah yesterday and keeping her in the game, and then today, Summer had to step up. And she pitched a great game. I think, really, she pitched her best game of the season. And, again, just so proud of them to be able to have the mindset and the mentality to, come out and just not make the moment bigger than it was.
You're playing your best softball at the perfect time of the year here. Now, moving on to the NCAA tournament, what do you think this team needs to continue doing in order to have a nice long run and success moving forward?
I think we're going to enjoy this. And then when we get back to Buffalo, we got to get to work. But we're going to enjoy it for sure.
Anybody you want to say hello to back in Buffalo or anywhere else?
Oh, I've got my daughter, Mika May Horner, my husband, my entire family, and I've got so many supporters, but I just text messages and phone calls this weekend just with all their support. I appreciate it, and I love you all. Mwah.
2025 East Coast Conference Softball Champions. How does that sound?
That sounds amazing. Let's go.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And that was Shelley Horner, the first-year head coach of the 2025 East Coast Conference Softball Champion at DUville University Saints. Joe, let's send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Mike, and thank you to DUville head coach Shelley Horner. Congratulations to the Saints and to the Spartans. Both teams had incredible seasons. For the Spartans, the run ends in the East Coast Conference Championship, and for the Saints, their improbable ascent to the top of the ECC concludes with a Game 7 victory on the home turf of St. Thomas Aquinas College here at Spartan Field in Spark Hill. Once again, our final score, the Saints won and the Spartans nothing. So for all of us here with the East Coast Conference, with St. Thomas Aquinas, and here on the ECC Network, specifically Jessica, Casey, and Nikki from the ECC, Brad from STAC, and Mike, my broadcast partner today, as well as my broadcast partner, Nicholas Bavona, on Thursday. My name is Joe Foreman. Thank you from all of us here for tuning in to our coverage of the 2025 East Coast Conference Softball Championship.